Oh my God, I am live. It's so long since I've done this. How embarrassing. It's been far too long. Well, hello everyone. I hope you've all cooled down a bit from our kind of mini heat wave that we've had over here. It's settled down to a very nice mid to low 20s, and that's just comfortable. It means I can actually get some sleep at night. So this is a bit of a spur of the moment thing. I just got terribly embarrassed and realised quite how long it had been since I'd done a live. So if nobody actually comes in to be live, it's fine. I'm sure people can catch up later at their leisure, but it's Friday afternoon and it's about 3:30. So I went out this morning. I did one of those weird things where I got that intuition kind of spidey sense thing that said, you really should go to this place. You haven't been there in a long while. You need to go. I'm like, I don't need stuff. Do I need stuff? Oh my God, no, I don't need stuff. However, I trusted my intuition, and off I popped to only one little charity shop, and bingo, very worth going. Lovely, lovely manageress there, because I got chatting to her about the 80s, bizarrely, because I was there. And oh, hello, one viewer. And so we ended up having a natter, and then I had a look at a couple of bits of jewellery, and there wasn't anything much there at all. And then spotted some little boxes, and I was like, oh, is that jewellery? Anyway, managed to inveigle my way in. Oh, someone's popped in and popped off again. I've put them off. Well, fair enough. Jewellery, it's not everybody's bag. So what I will do is I will show what I've got anyway, because it was about time I actually did something. I'm makeup free, scruffy Friday afternoon zone, and off I went shopping. I actually only spent, hang on, let me get rid of this. Only spent £8 today, which was great, because clearly in these times we all try and spend as little as we can getting our stock. I posted one of the biggest parcels I've sent for quite some while. I had what was known as a piece of wall art, and it was metal, and it looked like sort of like birds, when they're just feathers are just, and then just sort of a V shape, and there were lots of them. And I picked it up literally for a couple of quid from a charity shop, and thought it's got to be worth more than a couple of quid. And of course, I hadn't really thought about how to post it. More for me. So a bit of franking boxing and a bit of swearing and general head scratching, and it's sold and it's gone. But I thought I shouldn't do that. Why buy big things? Bag of goodies. And something else. I thought there was, oh yes, there was something else. There we go. So yes, 8 whole English pounds. Hello, sweet peoples. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely Friday afternoon. They reorganised this charity shop somewhat, so I didn't know where anything was, but it's so small. Hello, Karen. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. It's been a long while. Just a couple of bits of clothing. Oh, free elastic band. This smells a little cupboardy. I think I need to air it. It's a belt. And you know how old leather gets that sort of old leather smell? I don't know if this is truly authentic or what it is. It looks a bit homespun. That means someone's clearly had a nibble at these. But of course, what attracted my attention was, if I put it the correct way up, excuse the nails, I do need to redo them. There's a Harley Davidson belt buckle. Now, whether it's truly authentic or not, I don't know, because I can't see any markings on the back. Oh, sorry, dust. Itchy nose. But it's rather lovely. There's the eagle, there's HD, it's Harley Davidson, needs a little clean-up. Live free, ride free. Well, there we go, motto we could all learn from. So there we go. It's not a massive, it's not particularly sizable. It's not one of those huge, great buckles, but, quite bikerish. And 'tis the season to be out on a bike. Does that go through? Oh, wait, I see, okay. Some of the holes it will go through, and some it might not. Oh, actually, that's me not doing that correctly. There we go. Should be able to hook it in. So there we go. And I paid a whole pound for that. which is a surprise because normally those sort of things are a bit of a tastier price, particularly down here in the southeast of England. There are prices and there are prices, and there are prices I go, you've got to be joking, and move on. This was a bit of a find though. This was on the Pound Row. Brought back memories. Do we know who it is yet? Oh yes. Marilyn Manson, and it's on the back as well. Now, I don't know if it's actually a tour t-shirt because it hasn't got the dates. Hello, Chris Tyler. Lovely to see you. Welcome in. It's quite an old tag, so I don't know exactly when this comes from. Bit faded. GC. Ultimate. I mean, we're not talking single stitch here. It has got two layers. Get rid of the tag. We don't need that poking around, but it takes me back, bizarrely. Did she? Oh, I'll have to have a look. I very much got into Marilyn Manson very late to the party as usual. Obviously, I followed him through the years, but he put out a really nice album. It had his own version of Personal Jesus on it, which the Depeche Mode version is good. It's a great tune, but he really absolutely nailed it. And I used to listen to that whilst driving about, whilst working, before eBay days, when I was heavily pregnant. So I think my son kind of has grown up knowing that sound. So it was quite funny. This is a guy's one, actually, and it doesn't give a size. But I would say that's probably a medium to large, depending on your size of fella. And it's quite a nice thick. It's slightly old-fashioned thick stuff. So, for the quid I paid for it, it's a little cracked up in places because clearly it's been washed. I mean, thank goodness. My arm washed, wouldn't know where it's been. The rest of what I've got so many things but what I picked up today is a little bag of goodies. So I paid £1 each for those, and then I spent £6 further because, bless her, the manageress, I'd been through and I put a little pile there, and she just said, oh, well, let me have a look at it. And yeah, fine, thinking, okay, this could get interesting. And she said £6 for the lot. I'm like, thank you very much. So some of these have got labels, but they never got as far as being priced. So it's a one-off thing. I mean, this place hardly ever has anything, so makeshift bin behind me. So I'm quite happy, but I'll have to dig out a loop because the old eyes aren't what they were, to see if my instincts were good. So I'm going to have a little peek at this. This is kind of like a torque necklace, but it's got articulation, so it's a bit easier to get on and off. And yes, it says 95. Excellent. I have got, I will find silver gemstone pendant to go on that because I love a torque. They're so nice. Bizarrely, I'm one of these few people in the world that actually has an incredibly skinny neck. Don't ask me why. So a lot of the old vintage necklaces that are like 16 inches still fit me. So don't know. Just skinny neck, scrawny neck bird, I suppose. How sales? You were up 50% and now sales are dead. Well, it's been interesting, and I think we're all suffering a little from what I would call the Vinted effect. I'm not on Vinted. I didn't even get on. I drew up a listing and they decided it was fake and banned me permanently. So it looks like Vinted isn't for me. Bizarre. Can't be bothered with it. Doesn't matter. But my eBay sales have, we're definitely working harder for less money these days. There's no two ways about it. But I found recently I've had not many sales, but there have been some quite higher value items that I've got. Luckily, I've got some decent value items, high value items on my store. So I sold like a £95 suit. It was 120, I think, but I took an offer. I'm like, yes, please. And some nice shoes, and then something else, and so that's kind of made this week looking like it's a lot better. But I've had some really bad weeks, up and down, but donut days. I mean, when you think I've got 2,500 listings, and there are days when absolutely nothing is sold, and then another day things sell. And some days you sell a lot lower value items, although I've been getting rid of those over time. But you only need one good sale to make it kind of worthwhile. So it's odd. I have to say, I had over the last month, I took Nick's advice, Nick and Andrew obviously, and I did decide that for a whole month I was going to end the listings that were ending that day and do sell similar, do it systematically so that I can go through everything in my store, because it actually doesn't cost you extra to do. It's a pain, and maybe that has helped. I can't say. It's not a scientific method. I have no control. But it maybe that's what stimulated some of the older stuff that's gone dormant. So my kind of philosophy is, well, look, once every 3 months, I'll probably go have a month when I do that, so that all my stock is at least appears listed. And occasionally, I had someone come up to me and go, "Oh, your item's not for sale anymore. Do you still have it?" And I go, "Oh, actually, I've amended things and it's been relisted, and here's the new item number," and they've gone and bought it. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. I hadn't been doing it, effort, etc. But sales got so bad, I thought I have to do something, and I won't promote on principle. No, that sounds really up myself. I didn't quite mean that. What I meant was I don't do promotions because most of what I sell is kind of one-off stuff. It's vintage, it's unusual. So I'm not competing with somebody selling exactly the same thing that I need to promote to get my stuff seen. It's just, is somebody looking for a 1970s tartan skirt that's tiny or whatever. And they've come undone. That's okay. They're not broken. That's just me spinning them around. They're the classic black French beads. Hello. Yes, please, sweetheart. Being offered tea. How lovely. They're the flapper length beads. I can't leave them behind when they're inexpensive. I think they look great. If you really stack them at all the different lengths, they can look amazing. Very gothic, very steampunky. And they just feel nice. So those were, couldn't leave it behind because it would have been moved not to. These I don't think are vintage, not by a long shot. But they were so shiny. And you all know I like shiny things. Like, oh, squirrel. Oh, one's got a thing in it and one hasn't. They are these. They're not coming out quite as sparkly as they do in real life, but they're rather lovely. They're very new, I think. I didn't see a name on them, but I kind of thought, well, I've got plenty of things that I can either put these with, so I'll love them. Oh, I'm going to sneeze now. That's what happens when I start handling Julie. It makes me want to sneeze. So there we go. Not really me, but there'll be somebody. But I thought I was just going through. I was doing a bit of detangling and pairing earrings up for her as well. I thought I'll try and be helpful. I like to be useful. I picked this up because it felt nice. I'm a very sensate, is that? The textures and things mean a lot to me, and I get very hooked up in it. They are basically stones of some description. And they're nice round. And they are on a stretchy. I don't tend to go for stretches, but they're quite nice. I'm assuming that they are probably some tiger's eye. Oh, they are actually. I thought they might just be jaspers, but that looks like labradorite. Yeah, labradorite, tiger's eye. I think that's pretty much what they are. I couldn't really see the flash on them in the shop because it was quite sort of busy and a little crowded and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I like that. I like the feel and the sound of those. Sometimes I buy things just because I like. Here's an example of a very tiny. It's one of these sort of claspies. I obviously haven't tested any of these because I've only just got back in, had a sandwich. I did like the kind of sort of citrine colour, but again, it's a very small one, so actually that even won't go around my neck. So that's not going to work. I might have to, could I call it an anklet? It probably would be an anklet for somebody. Yeah, that really is small, because if that won't go around my neck, well, it's not surprising. It's only 13.5 inches long. Even my neck's not that skinny. Could have been for a child, I suppose. But yeah, rather cute. So I may have to rethink that. I'll test the beads anyway, but they may end up in a craft lot so someone else can reuse the beads. But I was just so excited about being able to fossick through a box of stuff. This I thought was nice too. Okay, you'll see me do that. It's making sure that if they're cold, they're not plastic, because I can't always tell with my hands. Particularly in warm weather. But I find your cheek is very sensitive, isn't it? So it's a good way of testing. I thought this was interesting. I hadn't really seen anything like this before. I'm assuming this is glass. There's slightly variations in shades, and then it comes down into this little dingly dangly doodad. So yeah, that's quite vintagey and a bit unusual. So just things that grabbed my attention. The fact that I thought I got some silver kind of made me feel like, oh yes. Now I grabbed this, and I do need to find a stone to replace the little missing raindrop. Look, it's gone. It's cute. It's got a little sun behind a cloud. Now, as those who may have watched me before will know, yes, I'm a witch. That's the best way of saying it. That's what I do. But weather magic is kind of one of my areas, if you like. So that was quite significant. I thought that's for me when I fix it. But it was a bit of silliness. I don't even know who it's by. I don't think it has no, it doesn't have a mark, but it's surprisingly weighty, and I would say that's 1980s from just the way it's put together. What else have we got? Yes. And another little necklace here. Again, it doesn't have a pendant. It needs a little straightening out. As you can see, it's got a bit mashed up. Hopefully nothing terminal. I'm hoping if I hang something heavy, that'll... But the reason I picked it up is because I was hoping it might be silver. It might not be, but it looked like it could be. And it does have 925 on the little bit of the clasp. And it says... Oh, God. Really difficult to see. It's quite shiny, this silver thing. Mylor, 925 Mylor. It's a nice make. So if I can straighten that out a bit, because it's kind of like... It's almost like a snake chain, but it's got some rigidity. That's a difficult one to say. A little bit of stiffness to it. So I'm going to have to do a little work with that and see if I can make that good, because that would look amazing with a pendant on it. But silver, who knew? Oh, Lizzie and Louie, hiya. Nice to see you. Now this says it's Pandora. Well, it says Pandora. Whether it is or not for sure, I couldn't really tell, but I quite liked it. And it had, if I can show you, the cutest little hedgehog on it. And I thought, even if it's not Pandora, it's still jolly cute. But I do need, it feels like it might be. Because really you need to get a loop out to see if there's anything, if it's got the requisite marks. That says S95 ALE. So the charm is Pandora. So there's a good chance that the bracelet might be. So I do get... don't drop it off the end. I do get Pandora charms from time to time, so it's quite nice to have a little bracelet to put them on. But you have to go inside to see the ALE and S95 ALE. It is Pandora. Now that's a turnout, because I really didn't expect it to be real. I kind of thought it might be silver. But that's lovely. That's an absolute joy. Thank you, universe. Does look after me, Really does. And this was beautiful. I mean, it's semi-translucent. It's agate, because there's always agate if you're not sure what it is, but that is definitely an agate. And I thought that was a stunning bit of agate. I thought there's every possibility it might be on silver. So we'll have a look. I mean, it might not be. But it's such a nice thing anyway. It's got some quite nice engraving on the bail. I don't know about the chain though. The chain is a very nice belcher chain, quite long. And if I go through here, I think my cup of tea is about to arrive. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. How lovely. The chain might not be. It's tarnished all right. Oh, hang on, it does say sterling silver, so it's an old one. Sterling silver on the clasp. I always test everything anyway. That is gorgeous. I mean, I'm always wearing necklaces. So much easier. That's quite a good length. It's almost like a mirror, it's so polished. So that is incredible. I mean, literally for £6, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of silver. Wouldn't get that at the boot fair, or be very lucky to get that in the boot fair. So I'm highly chuffed and delighted. That doesn't happen very often. Our charity shops around these parts are quite often a little ambitious in their pricing. Even the boot fairs. I'm due to go to one tomorrow, actually, just for a looky-see. But, you know, even the boot fairs, you've got people stood in the middle of a field going, oh, I want £120 for this. I'm thinking, nope. I tend to look at them a bit puzzled and then go, nah. I just move on. There's no point in even haggling, really. But there are some people who clearly don't understand the concept of a boot fair. And yet there are other people who are practically giving stuff away. So it's luck of the draw, really. So, yes, that's kind of it in terms of what I found today. The other day I found this. This is Swarovski. It's a large butterfly. I thought he was rather lovely. He might be gold, those bits on the front. His little face. He's got a cute face. These sort of things aren't really my bag at all, but when I saw it, I thought, well, you know, be a bit rude not to pick it up, to be honest. I have a lovely find. I just like showing what I found. These are rather cool. They're silver. How amazing are those? They're a good size. A very, very good size. I just love picking up things. I even managed to pick up this. Now, this isn't going anywhere because I'm far too scared and nervous to even contemplate selling something like this. But I've had lots of fake things before, and you know they're fake. This, to me, for the £2 that it cost me, really looks incredibly good. If it's a fake, it's a damn good one. Excuse the nails again. It's just beautiful. I want to keep it because it's so nice. Like I've got use for something like this, really, but I'm just so gobsmacked that I might have finally once have actually got something that's genuine. That's one of those brands. But it does make me nervous. It makes me very, very nervous indeed. So, yeah, what else have I got to show? I'm not sure I have, really. Oh, I did find the best bracelet. This was the other day. I bought it knowing it was broken because I'm really hopeful that I can find a way to fix it because it was so gorgeous. I mean, for a bit of chunky, have I got it the right way around? Yeah. For a bit of chunky mid-century modern brutalism. How's that? Absolutely corking. It's got, show you properly, it's got that brushed gold architectural design. Really thick and chunky. Lovely on the back. The only thing is, it's the clasp. The other bit, I need to put it back on. And I'm not sure. I'll have to wear my close up. I don't need glasses to read, but I do need glasses to fix things this detailed. So I've got to get onto that. But I loved it. I bought it just because it was such a beautiful thing. I didn't want to leave it there. It does need a bit of a clean up there because it tends to rub itself on the bits in between. But I love things like that. Sadly, I can't wear them because they'll turn my arm green. But people can. I'm just not one of those people that can wear them. Gutting, really. Absolutely gutting. So, my lovely lot, I've taken up your time for coming up for half an hour. Oops. And I'm not sure I've got much else to show currently. I will try and pop on with things every now and again. I mean, the amount of treasures that I've got that aren't anywhere close to being listed, because I've sort of been stockpiling a bit, ready for my husband's retirement in a couple of years. But I do want to get cracking with Etsy and stuff, and I procrastinate and I get sidetracked and I forget, and I'm busy doing all sorts of research for my son, who is in the lower sixth form at the moment, or year 12 to those who do the modern thing. And we're looking at universities and everything, and it's quite, there's so much to look at. So I'm trying to do a certain amount of research, so I can just go to him and say, this is their computer science course, this is their computer science course, this is the good thing about this one, this is a good thing about this one, and kind of give them a heads up before we start visiting. So that's going to be something else. Visiting all the unis. Oh, dear God, my life is not my own. Anyway, I will say goodbye to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will try and produce something a bit more frequently, because, yeah. So I will see you later. Chatty bye now. Bye.